I guess what inspired was after I learned a little bit more from my coach, Coach Sakan, about the rites of passage, this whole concept and this idea that just inspired and just sat well with me, both in terms of my own personal journey and also what I felt as I observe and work with boys and young men all this while. I really felt that this is something that we need, and in fact many families, many of our young people in society today, they don't have that chance, the opportunity, the ability to have some of these experiences. So I really do feel that creating this rites of passage for boys particularly is so important, because then they would have something that they can reference to in a safe environment, and not only safe, but it pushes them, gives them that kind of inputs that they need to build them towards being a successful young man in future. I feel it's important because without it, the boys will be basically guessing, and there is no also a structured process whereby grown men, adult men can come into the process and guide and provide the inputs. We put so much emphasis on other things like achievement, things like academics. We seldom put a lot of focus in the inward processes. So what modern culture today is really lacking is having that platform, having that opportunity for men, young men, to really come together and to build for themselves something that is lasting, something that can pull them through even when times are difficult.
I think the most important lesson for all of us is that we need to bring back the rite of passage. That there is a point in time in every boy's life that is symbolic, not just symbolic, but also a physical call to action, spiritual call to action, a transition from the world of growing up and raised by the feminine into that of masculine.
One is to be a leader for myself and also for my family and loved ones, and to be a model, somebody that can provide that kind of inputs and that kind of guidance.
So what a man is first and foremost a provider, and beyond that, a defender and protector of his family and the things that he loves the most and values. The masculine, the man, is the ultimate expression of love, because he's sacrificing his time, his efforts, his energy, his body to provide for the family structure and the family unit. So martial arts, number one, it develops discipline, and beyond that, resilience, self-care, responsibility of taking care of your health, mental health, physicality, and then protecting oneself and protecting one's family, and then beyond that, protecting one's community. There will be a lot of people depending on them in the future, and they have to be in the best shape physically, mentally, and spiritually in order to succeed.
I believe that growth only comes about during discomfort, and when we are too comfortable in our environment, when we are just all set in our own ways, we really don't need to grow. We don't need to kind of like step up, and challenge ourselves. So when we create that kind of environment and challenges, it also brings up a different side of them. And when it's under pressure, when it's under test, then that is where the real stuff shows.
So in order for somebody to grow, become stronger, they have to meet varying levels of resistance. Not so much that they're discouraged or want to give up, but enough that they're challenged and that they feel like they have the ability to succeed and become better.
One is modeling. The effects of modeling, whereby the boys themselves can see for themselves who my father is really, and how does he handle some of these challenges, and therefore show the way as a role model. And it carries through, not just during these few days in the retreat, but it carries through back home, under different circumstances, situations. They will still continue to have that role modeling process, and therefore the father can continue to guide the son. So this is my personal belief that fathers needs to be involved in this process.
It's a huge responsibility of the father, especially if nowadays they have to work a full-time job. They need to be present in order for young boys to be initiated into the world of men. So nowadays this father figure is not present. I think the most powerful moment is seeing the look on the father's face and recognizing that there's kindling of hope, right, for his sons to grow up to be brave and strong, and even for himself to become braver and stronger, for them become a better symbol of masculine strength and purpose for them as well.
I guess it's first to understand that it takes a process for us to really grow and build certain things and qualities into our lives. And the other thing is to think about how to create opportunities and experiences for the boys to actually, to gain some of these inputs. So I think one thing is to think about how to be intentionally wanting to create this kind of opportunities for growth and not be afraid when it's uncomfortable.
You need to find yourself a mentor, someone that you can look up to and that you can trust and help guide you through the difficulties of life. There are no shortcuts, but at least they can guide you to the right path so that you don't waste precious time.
I see my role as a facilitator and somebody to open up that process for the fathers and sons to kind of like start on this journey. So is to ignite, is to create, is to facilitate for them to be comfortable about talking about some of these issues, because some of these topics are not easy.
We're just trying to gently guide them, right, and show them that we can trust each other, that we can trust the process, and then once we develop a stronger connection, then we can have a much stronger relationship as disciple and student. Mentorship is important because we have to have that guide. So it's easy to think that we're in control, that we see the direction of life that we're going, but there's so many distractions and temptations. So the mentor is there to look as a third person to help guide them through the missteps, any setbacks, and also give